Hi, grade 7s. We're going to carry on with the calculations with integers, and now we're going to specifically work with subtracting integers. I've prepared a few examples again because that's the easiest way to actually see how they work. The first example I've got here is when you've got a positive integer minus a positive integer. Okay, now in the first example, which is 3 minus 2, you get an example like you've been doing since grade 1. So my first number is bigger than my second number, and my answer will be 1. So my answer will be positive. But what can now also happen, because you have now started working with negative numbers, is that they can actually give you the small number first. And then you say 3, then you're going to get a negative answer. Just to illustrate that on the number line for you, you've got 3 rand, but you want to buy something cost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rand, and then you'll see that you end up on negative 2 rand. So you still need 2 rand to be able to do it. So you can get two positive numbers where the first number is smaller than the second number, and now you have to work out what the difference between the two is. Okay, the next example is when you've got a negative minus a negative. I did write the rule down there for you so that you can go and learn it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain it to you. You can just copy the rule or look at the rule yourself in your own time. Now, the moment in a sum you see two negatives next to each other like that, you are going to put them together and make it a positive. Now, I always tell my kids, when you make it a positive, make it over both minus signs, both negative signs, so you don't see them anymore, and so they don't confuse you. And then you're going to follow the plus rule that we've learned in the previous video. So in this case, the 3 side is bigger, so my negative side is bigger. So my answer will be negative, and 3 minus 2 will give me 1. What this actually means in practice is I already owe money, and then somebody minuses my debt. In other words, they take away a negative. When I take away a negative, it means that it changes to a positive. Okay, so negative 5 plus 7, my positive side is bigger, so my answer is going to be positive, and 7 minus 5 will be 2. Okay, so all you do is you change the two negatives to a positive, then you use the addition rule that you've learned in the previous video, and that is what I've just explained to you here. The next example is similar. This is where you've got a positive minus a negative, and you can see once again over here that you've got the situation where the two negative symbols are next to each other. And I wrote there as well, change the double negative to a positive. Again, when you change them, go over both your minus signs so you don't see them anymore and change it to a plus. And then there are normal plus sums. 3 plus 2 is 5. In other words, your answers here will always be positive. 5, you change the two negatives to a positive. My answer will be 8. Here I change my two negatives to a positive, and my answer will be 13. Okay, and then the last example that we can have, the last situation we can have, is when you've got a negative minus a positive. So what this means in practice is that you've already got 3 rand debt, you already owe someone 3 rand, but then you still go and you borrow another 2 rand. In other words, you end up with negative 5. So what I said, you're going to move in a more negative direction. So the first thing you can do is you can go write a negative symbol, and then you plus the two numbers that you've got there. So 5 plus 3 is 8. You're not really plussing. You want to see how far you move in a negative direction. So you put those two numbers together. Okay, in this case, negative 5 minus 8. I already owe someone 5 rand. I take away another 8. So my answer will be negative 13. Guys, the best way to practice these things is to go and do it. So please go to your worksheets and practice it. I also suggest you go through the plus and the minus video, look at the different rules and make notes for yourself on that. Learn your different rules, apply it in your worksheets, and please ask if you need help. Bye, guys.